Okay, now we're back a little bit closer to the house, and we put animals a little closer to the house to make sure that we can watch them and take care of them well. I want to talk a little bit about soil fertility. So animals are one way that we get that soil fertility going in the area that we just talked about, especially where the crops are. But there's many ways that we get soil fertility back. When you add all this organic matter to the soil, what you're seeing right now is mostly carbon. It's not nitrogen. You want to make sure there's nitrogen there as well. So when we teach about feeding the soil, we teach about the food groups that we eat are also what the soil needs. So the soil needs to eat 6 food groups. We need to eat 6 food groups. And we always need to balance depending on what we're growing. So we have some chickens, we have fish, we have worm farms, we have the ducks. We have leguminous species. So there's lots of agroforestry. This is a tree that we keep trimming and trimming and trimming and laying the leaves down. There's many different leguminous plants around here. We make, I'm not going to open this because it's probably very stinky right now. This is manure tea, so it's brewing and fermenting. Then over here we have various compost piles. So we make sure that we don't burn anything, we don't sweep away anything. This is leguminous as well. You can tell by the type of leaves. So it's not leguminous for humans, but it's leguminous for the soil. Now we're getting closer to the house. So you can tell further away from the house, we do less work at this time of year. And that's where we come into our zoning. Things that we use every day go very close to the house, and that's where we're going to go next. Things maybe we use once a week, monthly, are out here. We call that zone 2. When we were way out in the field, that was zone 3. Then we have woodlots that take very little work. That's zone 4. And then zone 5, we have natural areas. This even says when we have guests coming, you're coming out into zone 2. So the central point is our home or our school or our office or our college buildings. That's our focal point because that's where the human energy is, and that's called zone 1. Zone 0. So we're going to walk into zone 1 now. Actually, let me just turn back here. Another design principle is looking at the different sectors, which are things that are affecting us from outside our plot. So I can feel the wind blowing at me from the east. Wind almost always in Malawi blows from the east. So this was a great place for us to design and put our clothes washing and our clothes dryer. So that's our dryer, that's our washer. And then the water all comes back into these plants because we never waste anything. So that's out in zone 2. Now when we move into zone 1, these are things that I take care of every day and I use every day. And you can see, because of the extra care, how much they grow. And you're going to see a whole lot of different species growing together. This is a worm farm. So while we're talking about soil fertility, there's worms, and there's worms. So they eat up a lot of our things from the kitchen, which are just inside there. I don't think we'll go inside today. More leguminous plants. So in permaculture, we use these zones to make the most of our energy, putting things in the right place so that we don't have to walk far away to get the things we want every day. And we put things further away that we don't need every day. And then within each space, and I could have talked about this anywhere that I've showed you today, within each space, we use something called guilds. So I'm going to turn off again and walk to the back, and then we will come back and look at guilds.